Oh, that's a keep.
Welcome back, guys. It's Nick's Lotus, your one-stop shop for bruised budgets and board states. Today we're going to be focused on the budgets. Up first, we got Lae'zel's Acrobatics from Commander Boulder's Gate, coming in at 64 cents. 3 and a white for an instant to blink your whole field. Exile all your non-token creatures, bring them back during your end step, but you roll a d20 as well. If you get a 1 through 9, you just do that. If you get a 10 through 20, you blink them immediately once, and then you blink them till your end step, so you get 2 sets of blinks. Throw this in your Bragos deck, your Rune deck, and you'll get a ton of value out of this thing. Rogue's Class from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms is $1.70, and this thing's crazy. Comes in at level 1 for a blue and a black. Whenever one of your creatures deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card off their library. For 1 a blue and a black, you can make it level 2 and give all your creatures menace, and give you the ability to play those cards that you put into exile with your creatures and use mana as though it were any color. Extremely powerful. Thunderhawk Gunships next from Warhammer 40k. Coming in at $3.71, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite cards. 6 mana for a 6/6 flying vehicle that cruises for 2. When it comes into play, you get 2/2/2 white Astarius creatures with vigilance, so one of those can crew it right there. Whenever you attack, all your attacking creatures get flying, so extremely good. Put this in token decks, creature-based decks. Built-in evasion for your whole board's never bad. And while we're on the subject of cards my Layla deck loves, Liberator Urza's Battlethopter is fantastic. The Brothers War promo version of this is $3, and it's definitely worth it. Say, see you later, Shimmermere. I don't think you can do any of this shit. 3 mana for a 1/2 flash flying. Gives all your colorless and artifact spells flash, which is just insane. Whenever you play a spell whose mana cost is higher than Urza's Battlethopter's power, you get a 1/1 counter on Urza's Battlethopter. Scales late game, makes all your colorless stuff and artifact stuff flash. I don't think Shimmermere can give your Eldrazi's flash, so there's something for you. Rakdos Charm's up next from Crimson Vow Commander for 31 cents. This thing can destroy an artifact, exile a graveyard, or make every creature deal 1 damage to its controller. It takes out token decks, reanimator decks, artifact decks, and for 1 black, 1 red at instant speed. I don't think there's a point in time you wouldn't want one of these in your hand. Una, Queen of the Fae. This is an old school one that used to be kind of higher price, and now it's sitting at 61 cents from Zendikar Rising Commander. 3 and 3 hybrid Dimir for a 5/5 flying. Pretty good. You can pay X in a hybrid Dimir to name a color, exile the top X cards off an opponent's graveyard. You get a 1/1 blue and black fairy token with flying for each card you hit of the chosen color. This is Commander. You know what their color is going to be, so this thing's great. If you just need a token engine, or more importantly, if you need an infinite mana sink, this thing will take someone out of the game while giving you the bodies to take someone else out of the game. It's definitely something to consider. Izoni Thousand-Eyed from Guilds of Ravnica is sitting at 75 cents, which is crazy to me because this thing's super strong. 2 black, 2 green for a 2/3. When it comes into play, you get a 1/1 black-green insect creature token for each creature in your graveyard, and then you can pay a black and a green, sacrifice a creature, gain 1 life, draw a card. This thing at the helm of an Aristocrats deck seems really good. Even inside of Aristocrats deck, this thing's doing exactly what you want to do. It replaces all the bodies you've already sacked with new ones to keep the death triggers coming. Feldon of the Third Path is next from Commander 2021 for 42 cents. This guy's insane. Since he came out, this guy's been really, really good. He had his highs, he had his lows. Now he's sitting at 42 cents, so definitely pick one up. It's 2 and a red for a 2/3. You pay 2 and a red, tap it, put a token into play that's a copy of a creature in your graveyard, except it's an artifact, and it gains haste until end of turn. You have to sack it at the end of turn. I don't know, Phyrexian Triniform? Triplicate Titan, Blightsteel Colossus, and it's always 3 mana. It doesn't matter how big the thing you're taking out of your graveyard is. It doesn't exile the thing out of your graveyard, so you get to just keep doing it. And you have to sack the thing at the end of turn, so Phyrexian Triniform, Triplicate Titan, this thing's kind of your best friend. Up next is an old classic. We got Soul Exchange from Fallen Empires for 59 cents. 2 black for a sorcery. You exile one of your creatures in play, and then you get a creature back from your graveyard into play. I know that in my reanimator decks, a lot of my big beefy stuff I'm trying to reanimate comes in with tokens with it. Avengers Zendikars, Grave Titans, so it's not really hard to find a creature to exile to get these things back. And I'm a firm believer that in Reanimator you want to run as many reanimation cards as you can, so this is just another one to add to the list. Up next is a good red card. I know, shocking as hell for me too. Valakut Exploration from Zendikar Rising at 54 cents. 2 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever you play a land, you exile the top card off your deck, you can play that card until end of turn. If you don't end up playing that card, at the end of turn it goes back to your graveyard, and it pings everybody for 1 for each card that was underneath it. It's a pseudo damage clock, but also like we were talking about Feldon, this would be an amazing card in Feldon because you either use the cards or you don't use them and you just get them back with Feldon. And in mono red, I think this is a very good source of card draw. Turning your lands into pseudo card draw, it seems pretty good to me. Up next, we got Drivnod Carnage Dominus from Phyrexia All Will Be One, clocking in at $3.57, which blew me away. 3 and 2 black for an 8/3. It doubles all your death triggers, and you can pay 2 Phyrexian black, exile 3 creatures out of your graveyard to give it indestructible. This thing trades with everything, it protects itself, so you guaranteed get all those death triggers. It doubles your death triggers, which like in an Aristocrats deck, you're talking Blood Artist, you're talking Ogre Slumlord, you're talking Butcher of Malakar, Grave Pact. All these get doubled, which is so powerful. Drivnod's Cousins up next with Zappendrail, also from Phyrexia All Will Be One, $3.73. 5 and 2 green for a 4/6 reach. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of all your creatures. 2 hybrid green, sacrifice 2 other creatures, give it an indestructible counter. Again, protects itself, doubles the power and toughness of all your creatures each combat. So I cast my vote of liking this way more than Ronus. And Ronus is sitting around $5 right now, so pick them both up. If you're a Timmy, you're probably going to pick them both up anyway. Up next is Captain Ripley Vance from Modern Horizons 2 for 4 cents. I really like this thing. 2 and a red for a 3/2. Whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, she gets a 1/1 counter and then does damage to any target equal to her power. So in my Magar the Hidden Strings deck, this goes super hard. Jorah Weatherlight Captain's another one that I could see this just popping off with, maybe even killing somebody at the table. Spellslinger decks with enough cantrips, I think, could probably get away with running this. And lastly, we've got an old school classic with Artisan of Kozilek. For 58 cents out of the mystery boosters, a 9-drop colorless 10/9 with Annihilator 2. When you cast it, you get to rip something out of your graveyard, a creature, and put it back into play. This is probably my favorite Reanimator card to run, like in the history of Magic, for one reason, because you either drop it early game, you reanimate it, and you get a 10/9 Annihilator 2, which is pretty good. Or you just drop it late game, and it's a 9-drop 10/9 that on cast brings back something from your graveyard. The importance of that is this thing can even get countered, and you still get the creature back from your graveyard. So you're either left with a 10/9 and a fat creature, or they counter it and you still get a fat creature into play. There's not very many situations late game where Artisan isn't like the best top deck you can pull. And it's not seeing very much play anymore, and I really think it needs to. If you can't afford those bigger Eldrazi's, Artisan will do the trick like 90% of the time. Thanks for stopping back, checking out some budget stuff. If you like the new setup, let me know. If you like any of these cards, let me know. If you got any future budget cards that you want to see in some of these videos, please comment them down below. I'm always looking at the comments. If I had to pick a couple from this list that I really think you should get, I would probably say the 2 Dominuses, Drivnod and Zapandrel. Under $4 for both of these is insane. And then also maybe like an Artisan of Kozilek. I think 50 cents is insane for like this good of a bomb. I think Artisan really is that good of a bomb. And the Dominus is for under $4 is insane. Much love, guys. Thank you for checking out the video, and go play some Magic.